Taro for love, guys. Welcome back to another episode here on our channel, our usual end of the month podcast where I get to answer questions from you guys and also give you guys a bit of an up to date on our farm stuff. So hope everyone's doing okay. I just want to say a special fatalofa to our Ainga members. Hope everyone is doing well. I don't know if you guys can see, but it's a bit dark at the moment, and that's because I got off work about in a couple of hours ago, and then just made our way back to Kwa here in Lifanga. But also, energy levels were pretty down today, so I wasn't feeling it to do the podcast. But I thought I might as well make the effort, guys, because I owe it up to you guys to push out these content. So I just want to say thank you right now just for the support that you guys show for the channel. I really appreciate it. But yeah, guys, it's it's tough business. Trying to do everything with the amount of energy you have, but I'm always grateful, for God for the strength that I get to do these things, and also for such an audience such as you guys that really push me, to make better content for you guys. So yeah, we'll try our best to get through the episodes. Do excuse me if I do have a cigarette here every now and then, or just drink my coffee. It's just I'm trying to keep myself awake. So yeah. But if you do enjoy today's episode, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, guys, share our channel. Let's get started. All right, guys. So we did have we got a pretty good turnout for our questions on our social media, mostly our Instagram, because I don't like putting it up on Facebook. I really enjoy Instagram, so we got some questions there, but we also got some questions on our community tabs. So I'll get those out of the way, and then we'll go through some of the questions I tried my best to get out of the comment section from our previous videos. But I do apologize if I haven't covered, if I missed some of the questions. I tried my best to get most of the questions extracted from the comment section of either the YouTube videos we put out. So I do apologize, but hopefully I can cover it in our next podcast. But I've got some questions here ready to go, so I think we'll cover those now. But we're going to start off with our community tabs. And yeah, our first question from our community tabs is from Kamoleka 199193. And they're asking, Talufa halo Samoa, I notice you use your Ainga pickup to get your work done around the plantation. If feasible, ever considered an off-roads ATV with attached trailer, great on fuel, maneuverability, great investment. Good luck to you, brother. Thanks for the question. Also, so with the ATV, that was something that was first on the list because I didn't want to keep using my truck, only because the truck was my day-to-day car for taking the family and the kids to school. But it was also shared between the farm, which is why I tried to look for an ATV. Unfortunately, the costs of these ATVs are quite expensive. If someone doesn't donate it, I'm not going to purchase it because this is about 30 grand was the cheapest one I saw. There's some that they sell them, so I've been looking online. So places in New Zealand, such as it's kind of like where they sell secondhand stuff. There was a few there, but it's just the whole logistics of trying to get it shipped to Samoa. Even the ones here in Samoa are quite expensive, so I thought maybe down the line we would get an ATV. But then we actually got our van, which is the one we use now for our daily travels to the city to drop off the kids in for work. But the truck is now used for the plantation. So I would like to have a backup, another backup truck, just in case this truck stalls or goes out of service pretty soon, because they're quite sensitive, these newer trucks. So I'd like to have one of them old Toyotas, but yeah, something down the line. But yeah, I did consider having an ATV, but that was a problem. It was just too expensive, and plus we were in the beginning steps of setting up the farm. So I had a truck, and I thought it's just it's just another expense getting an ATV when we have a working truck. But yeah, to getting the ATV would be more of a luxury. We didn't need it at the time because we had the truck. But great question. Thank you for that. Our next question is from Blackbirds. and they're asking, Maloso, love the content. My question is, with so much damage to your farm and crops by neighboring cows, sure there is a way to stop this. The owners themselves should at least have some sort of common sense, at least. That's a great question, Uso, and I'm glad you asked that. Common sense is not so common here in Samoa sometimes. You know, you'd think they'd have common sense to at least come look for their cows. But that's the problem I mentioned in my previous podcast, was that, a lot of these people that own cattle farms are quite, elderly and seasoned farmers, and some of them don't have the labor force to actually look after their cattle farms. So they've got quite large cattle farms, and as a result, when the cows do go out of their cattle farms, it does take them weeks up to months to try and get them back in, because usually it'll be themselves and probably someone they can try to find to help them. So that's one of the reasons why. One thing we try to do is try to talk with them in trying to get their cows back, but the easiest option for us is to slaughter those cows, those roaming cows, which is why I'm putting a lot of effort into getting my firearm permit. I want to get that sorted so I can get that firearm, because at some point it does become a bit of a pain if it keeps happening, especially we kind of feel for them because it's their investment, but we also have an investment, which is the farm, and we don't like we don't want to slaughter their investments, which is their cows. But if it goes to the point where it becomes sort of a common thing, then I think it's probably best to take matters into our own hands. But again, you have obstacles such as the village rules, and then you've got it might end up going to court, and then it's just a whole lot of hassle trying to if we do end up slaughtering them, then that'll be the process we'd go through. We might even get penalized based on the village rules, because the current village rules is you're not allowed to slaughter those cows, but only you have to tie them up, and the family that owns the cows will have to come recover their cows for a fee. So the fee depends on you, but that's good if you have one cow coming onto your plantation or on your land. But the problem is there's more than 5 to 10 cows coming at a time, so you don't have the time to try and tie down all 10 cows, which is why a firearm is most likely the best option. But yeah, thanks for that. That was a great question. Another question here the last question from our community tabs was from John Hernandez. Shout out to you, so hope everything's okay. What's the biggest thing you've learned over the last 2 years, and how can you keep the cows out of your plantation? So the biggest thing I've learned so far in the past 2 years with regards to farming is that it's a very slow process. If you're looking to get a return on investment with farming, it's going to take quite a long time, and so you have to have the patience to go through it. You have to be resilient as well, because obviously you're going to have a lot of troubles. Well, I mean, that's farming in Samoa. I'm not saying farming in general, but that's particularly farming here in Samoa, because there's quite a lot of obstacles, and a lot of your money goes into the startup and getting things up to the way. It's quite easy if you had a nice piece of land with no trees and everything's ready to plant, but in my case, I had a lot of money invested into trying to clear the land first. So once I did get things started to pick up, we started to get a few profits here and there, but really small margins, 2 to 3%. It was only when we were able to work alongside our partners in American Samoa in exporting Taro that we started to get really good returns on our Taro being exported. Sorry about the insects, guys. It's I've got a light source in front of me that's for the camera, and the flies and the mosquitoes are coming all over it. Problems of doing a podcast in the islands. But that's one of the biggest the biggest lessons I've learned was to be patient with trying to do farming here in Samoa. Another thing I've also learned is that you've got to have in my case particularly, was that you have to have some sort of side hustle apart from the farm. So with the skills I got from creating content for YouTube, I was able to also make another side hustle, and that was creating advertisements for small companies and organizations. So I made a bit of money there as well, but it was based off the skills that I learned from creating content for YouTube. So that was, and that money I earned from creating the advertisement actually helped me try and cover up some of those costs, subsidize some of the costs on the farm, because profits were very slim at the time. So I had to have some sort of backup cash flow, and the only income I had was my 9 to 5 job. So that's why I had to have another side hustle, which was the advertisements thing. So it's a very challenging trying to do farming, but it's also, once it starts picking up, it can be quite rewarding. So yeah. And then with regards to the cow, as I mentioned before, that'll probably be the best option for the cows, is to slaughter them. But then we've got to go up against the village rules, and then police laws, because we don't want to be criminally charged for that, because that is, I'd say that's still damaging somebody else's possessions and assets. So I don't want to get charged or anything like that. But then you've also got the village laws you have to respect and abide by. So very, very complicated dynamics, but just got to still push through, and hopefully people will come around to looking after their cows. But yeah, great question, guys. And I just want to say thank you to those who commented our community tabs. Really appreciate it, guys. We'd like to get more of our questions on the community tabs, just so that it's easier for me to look for the questions, as opposed to what I'm doing, which is, if I don't find enough on the community tabs, I'll be jumping into the comment section. But just so that we've got a nice episode, So we're going to jump on our Instagram post, which I did see there were some questions coming through there, but not in the DMs, but it was just on the comment section of the Instagram post I made. So the first question from our Instagram post was from Rosa's Life, and she's asking, "We love watching your videos on YouTube. Just wondering, whereabout is your farm located? The drone shots are, yeah." So we're located in Samoanfarmer, which is down the southwest of Upolu, I believe, if I'm orientated right. Yeah, southwest of Upolu, and that's just about a 40-minute drive from town. So this, again, I think I've mentioned it before, this is my wife's family, and I'm just we're just doing the plantation because I'm living here at the moment. But I do have my family in Whalearere, and we also have land there. But I thought, because most of the time my time is here at my wife's village, I might as well invest into doing farming here. But thank you for supporting the channel. I really appreciate it, and I'm glad you guys like the drone shots. That was a really good investment. What was the drone? The next question is from BabyBread12. Sorry guys if you hear the dogs. See, this is what I mean. This is the problem with having a studio set up like this, is that the island setup is that you can't get away from dogs and the environment, the whole island environment. But yeah, the next question from BabyBird12 is, do you always film your videos by yourself, or do you have a camera person on standby? So yeah, I actually film by myself. All of my videos are filmed by myself. Even during this podcast, I've actually got a tripod set up. Special shout out to Hofini in American Samoa, who supplied me with this camera stand. I think I can show you guys the photos there. But this is the smaller, so he got me an actually larger one, but I'm just using the small one just so for the podcast. So I really appreciate his support, but it just goes to show that you guys enjoy the channel. So shout out to Ofeni for the light source and the tripod that we're using for today. But yeah, it's mostly me doing my episodes with the help of the tripods I got from Hofini. I was very fortunate that I could now actually do more like a third person, not a point of view shot, but I can actually get myself in the shot, just to make it more cinematic, and get that feel. But it's mostly just me carrying out, taking my videos, and then after I do the videos, I'll then jump into editing, and then after editing, I'll do a post, and then I'll post it up. So all in all, I try to keep it within 4 to 5 hours of recording, but sometimes it can go till the next day only, because it's very tiring doing something, recording it, and then editing, and then posting it up, so by yourself. And if you guys see the episodes that I post there, probably 90% of them are more than 20 minutes, so that's just 20 minutes that I've cut down from probably close to 30 minutes to 40 minutes of footage, just so that it doesn't drag on. But that's the amount of effort it takes. So try and figure out, if you're actually doing chores, the effort that goes into doing chores, recording it, and then editing it. And given that I live quite remote from any sort of signal, service signal, I have to try and upload it within that 4 to 5 hour window, 6 hours max. So yeah, it's quite difficult, but I always try to make do with what I have, only because, hopefully in the future the connection might get better and technology will be better. Technology is better, but that's just because Sam was quite far behind at the moment, so which is why we're a bit slacking. But hopefully in the future, it'll be a lot easier, and we can probably get a film crew. But I believe, that it's great for me doing it by myself anyway. And because, as I mentioned, it was through this that I do on YouTube with creating content. I developed skills that I was able to use for another side hustle, which was creating content, making commercials, which is something I'm pretty proud about, because these are quite high valued skills that you hardly find. And yet it all started off from me just farming, and then I just thought, might as well take some videos. Learned as I went. If you guys see my initial episode, it's the worst. You'd cringe at it, but as it went along, I got better and better with taking videos and stuff, honed my skills, and then made another side income from it. So but I appreciate it, and thank you for the question. Another question here is from Vanilla Ice Pack 12, if that's correct, and I assume she's asking, how do you decide the menu for Sunday Tonai? This is a very great question, honestly, because sometimes I think you guys might think that I actually plan everything for Sunday Tonai, but Sunday Tonai is, I only find out what to cook on Sunday Tonai either the night before or early in the morning before I come to the kitchen, and that's because I'm quite busy on Saturday, recording and then editing the episode to go online, so I don't get involved with the shopping. But then on Sunday morning is when I actually find out what do we have to cook on Sunday for tonight. So that's why sometimes the menu changes as I go along with the Sunday episodes, is because I'm making up the menu as I go. Nothing's planned. The only times will be planned are special occasions, special Sunday nights, things like Mother's Day, Father's Day, White Sunday, where I will be involved with the shopping. But just our usual Sunday night, it's mostly just off script, ad hoc. But I appreciate it. Alright guys, so I think we'll just quickly jump onto some of the questions we got from our comment section. Back to our so these are the comments placed in some of our videos. So I try to extract some of the questions there. So I do apologize if I do miss out, but I'll try my best in the next podcast. If you guys also see, I haven't been replying a lot to the comments. That's how busy it's been. So most of the times I don't get time to comment onto the videos because I'm quite busy. As you guys know, the past month, it was me and my wife preparing the Taro orders for Pango at the same time, our usual 9-to-5 job. So it was really hard for us because Uncle was in New Zealand. So Uncle's returned back now, which means I'll probably get a bit more time and I can go through our comments and reply to you guys. But I've got some of the comments here from our comment section. So the first one here is from Q684. A special fatal for Q684. Need an update on the beef heart review from the Famuso. Gordon Ramsay, who? Hello, bro. So yeah, there was actually quite a few comments about that heart episode I did on Sunday, the beef heart episode. So the funny thing was that the family didn't find out, so most of my family are actually subscribed to the channel. It was only when I uploaded the video and they saw the thumbnail, it was a beef heart, that they asked me which one of the dishes I did that Sunday was the beef heart. So it was really good. They said they really enjoyed it. The fact that it made it past Night and nobody asked means that I did a pretty good job. So yeah, there was actually quite a few of you guys that was asking about that beef heart. But yeah, I think we did a pretty good job in disguising the heart. But yeah, we'll jump on to the next question from JMJM1920. And JMJM1920 is asking, brother, do you sell your taro in Otahuhu? I think this is in New Zealand. So at the moment, we don't sell in Otaro. And the reason why was, as I mentioned, it's quite it's quite expensive trying to export taro to New Zealand. Australia is just a headache at the moment because of the entry requirements, quarantine regulations. But with New Zealand, it's just pretty expensive trying to export taro to New Zealand. The only way you can make a good profit margin with exporting to New Zealand is that you probably need to export like really large amounts, so that way, like in bulk amounts, where you can get your profit in from the volume of taro. But with American Samoa, we chose American Samoa because it was a lot cheaper. It was a lot cheaper to export there, but also the exchange rate of the because in American Samoa they use US dollars, so that's a lot higher than the New Zealand dollars. So American Samoa is just next to us as opposed to New Zealand, which is quite far from us. So I think it makes more sense trying to export to American Samoa than to New Zealand, and that's why we did that. So we are trying in the future, hopefully once operations go, to export to New Zealand and Australia. But I think it's mostly just going to be pango. We want to try America as well this year, so that's something in the works. We really want to get that one going. But yeah, fingers crossed, guys. I'd really like to do it, for you guys on the channel, because I know if I do get it over there, it'll sell, because I know you guys will buy it. Right. So yeah, we'll jump onto the next question from Evadni 1906. They're asking, do you replant trees elsewhere to replace the trees cut down? I am from the Caribbean and I enjoy learning about other cultures. So we don't replant the trees because most of the times, they're quite especially on the farm. The ones we cut down are actually invasive species. So that's why we do cut them down. But we do have big the reserves in different villages, and that's where they're mostly like protected sites where you can't cut down. But the past year we have been replanting a few trees, and this is mostly the native Samoan trees, where you can make the laupapa Samoan stuff. So that's what we've been trying to replant as well. But for the most part, no, we don't put a lot of effort into replanting trees, only because it's a waste of time for those trees to flourish on the land when we can actually plant food. Because there's a lot of other trees growing elsewhere, but it's just a small footprint that we're cutting down to make way to grow food. So yeah, that's the answer to that question. But great question nonetheless. Another question here from G Swagger 9692. Also, you should do merchandise as well to get another source of income. Yeah, thanks G Swag. So that was one of the goals I wanted to do this year. I am still trying to work on that as well. So I've already got the designs set up for the merchandise. I really wanted to roll that out this year. I'm still working on the website now. It's really hard trying to divert your money to invest in these different things, especially when you've got a farm. But I want to invest into the website so that we can actually push out some nice merchandise for you guys, and it'll create that feeling, being part of what we're trying to do. So that is something I've been thinking, I think for about a year and a half now, was trying to get a merch store up and get it running. so that you guys can purchase some stuff, and in turn that can help me. So that's something I've always been looking forward to doing. But great question. Another question here from Line Grant 4605. Do you always do the cooking and the work on the farm by yourself? No. So remember, guys, I have a 9 to 5 job, and that's from Monday to Friday. Usually we have Uncle here and Pa, which actually carries out most of the work. If we're doing large operations, we'll probably get in 3 or 4 other boys that'll help us during those operations. So whether it be planting taro or harvesting taro, or just cleanups on the farm and more cutting down trees, that's when we'll bring in most of the boys to help out with that. But mostly for me, it's Saturday and Sunday where I step in, and that's because that's when I'm free and actually I can actually get some time. So that's pretty much my schedule throughout the week ever since this channel was up. Was that Monday to Friday, go to work, come back Saturday, and Saturday would be the day. That's why I've only got 2 days that I push out content, which is Saturday and Sunday. Saturday is when I actually record the farm content, get it up before Sunday, and then Sunday morning I record the Sunday cooking episode and get that up before Sunday finishes as well. So it's quite a full-on week, which is why I'm quite lacking in the energies levels during the week, and I'm always tired, is because it's a full-on thing trying to get this all done. I really enjoy the schedule that I do now, but yeah, it's not just me doing the work on the farm, it's a whole bunch of us. But yeah, thank you for the question. Got a question here from Robert McMillan. Can you please show your wife and children eating your delicious food you cook? It's nice seeing you all together as a family enjoying your wonderful food you prepare. So that's a great question. As I mentioned, if you guys, I don't know if you guys have seen, but I do have other podcasts and other episodes up. So we did our episode with my wife where we were harvesting cocoa and making cocoa Samoa. But the reason why I hardly try there's aren't that many footage of the wife and kids and all the family eating is because we have a no phone at the dinner table policy. So that's why if you guys do see when I do have phones on there, when I do have some footage, I'm actually trying to sneak in some footage while we're eating. So that's the reason why, and that's the reason why most of the time it's footages or just like videos of me cooking. But hopefully we can get that sorted, and we'll definitely have some videos of the wife and children eating, because there's no use cooking the food and I don't show you if the people, if my family's actually eating it. It might be all just show, but no, they are eating it. I've got another question here from Evangelist Justin, who's asking, how's the weather right now in Samoa? Is it hot? So the weather in Samoa is super hot at the moment. I think we're probably entering the dry season at the moment, and that's probably the end of the wet season. So the wet season will probably be again towards the end of the year, which usually goes together with cyclone season in the Pacific. And that's why there's actually quite a low amount of rainfall. You guys saw this episode there about the cows. We're taking more water for the cows, so that was actually, we did that. So usually the cows are usually take about 4 to 5, usually about 2 to 3 runs a week for the cows when it's raining season. But during the dry seasons it can go up to 4 or 5. So yeah, it is quite hot here in Samoa. I think it's a lot hotter than usual. Climate change probably, who knows. But yeah, I think that's most of the questions covered from our comment section. So we'll quickly take a 5-minute break, guys. Just gonna have a cigarette, and then we'll come up with some of the updates on the farm and then our big announcements. So stay tuned. Alright guys, welcome back. I think we're probably going to finish up soon. Just a quick announcements with the farm so far. A bit of update. So far we're going pretty well with the farm. We've got another 5,000 tiapula arriving tomorrow. So we're hopefully going to set up a plot for that. We will be distributing half of that 5,000 to other farmers we've been working alongside with exporting taro, and then the other half we will be planting. Also, I think that's it for the taro plantation. For the cattle farm, we actually lost Suki in the weekend. So Suki sadly passed away due to some complications when she was giving birth. And yeah, as a result, both Suki and the calf didn't make it. So I want to show you guys the photos, but it's quite graphic. But yeah, it's pretty sad news given Suki was the oldest cow on the cattle farm and had, I think, about 4 or 5 generations of cows that she was able to give birth on the cattle farm. So it's quite sad that Suki's gone, but she has been great useful on the farm, especially the younger cows that she's been herding. It's always been quite useful when all the cows follow the older cows, and Suki was that example. So yeah, if we get a chance to show you guys on the cattle farm, I'll show you who the next new matriarch is on the cattle farm. But yeah, that's the update on the farm. So everything's going pretty well. We've got Uncle back, so operations will go back to normal. With regards to our YouTube channel, so the big announcement that I was trying to let you guys know is that I'm actually starting something, a new segment, which will be once we're on our way to reaching 10,000 subs really well. And I think given the larger audience, and this is a great platform, but also given that the larger audience is growing, the audience is growing quite well. It's probably time to pivot the channel a bit. We will still cover my story, but it's time to tell the story of other farmers. So that's a new segment that I'll be working on in the coming months, is that we'll be doing an episode where I'll hopefully once a month. I'll try once a month. Once a month seems ambitious, but that's the goal, is to do it at least once a month, where I'll be going around farms around Samoa, Polu and Savaii. We'll try with Polu first, and interviewing farmers, and I think that'll be a great learning lesson for us as well, because we're so isolated on our farm, and it's time to get the information out from other farmers that'll help future farmers such as you guys, who may be planning down the road to return to Samoa or actually live in Samoa and want to start up farming. So it'll be a great source of knowledge when we actually interview the other farmers. So it'll be a range of young farmers, older farmers, not just farmers on the land, but we'll also look into people who fish, all sorts of agricultural and fisheries development. So that's the big announcement, is that we're going to pivot the channel a bit in the coming months, and we're going to start a new segment every month, which will be telling the stories of other farmers. One thing I want to open up as well is we'll try and set up a PayPal account, and you guys will be able to donate to that as well. I'll also have some put in as well, and the goal is if we can create some sort of funding, and that'll be our assistance to those farmers. So every time I'll be going around to the farmers after the interview, we'll give them a bit of donation to help out on their farm as well. So that's something I'd like to work on as well, because I know it's quite difficult for some farmers here in Samoa. So doing that will actually help them. So if you want to be a part of that, stay tuned. Once the website goes up, I think that'll be the great chance to set up the PayPal account, or maybe like a GoFundMe kind of thing, where I can channel the funds and then start allocating those donations to those farmers as I go along. Obviously, in order to do that once a month is going to be quite difficult. Trying to set up, because I actually want to document, it'll be sort of like a documentary style kind of thing. So I actually want to spend a whole day with them, not just like a small portion of the day. And at the end of the day, we'll present them with a little gift from us and you guys as the audience. And that'll hopefully, down like 5 years, we'll actually have an award set up for them. So something like, the Samoanfarmer Award of the Year. And that'll be an even bigger, prize for them. So something, I thought, it's probably the best time to do, is to give back to the community and stuff. So, given that you guys are so interested with this, I thought I might as well run it by you guys. If everyone's on board with it, And if you want to chip in, that'd be great. But I think for the first few months, it'll be coming out of my pocket. But I'm happy to do that because it'll not only be a benefit for you guys, but also a benefit for me to learn these things while I go. And that small donation is just a thank you to the people that we interview. So yeah, looking forward to that. And that's the big announcement, guys. If you do enjoy it, please do comment down below. If you guys have any questions with anything, like questions you guys don't want to comment down here, you can always shoot me a message on Instagram or on Facebook. If you guys have any business related questions, you guys can also send me an email on the Samoanfarmer@gmail.com. We can go from there. I'm always open to questions. And if you guys want to do partnerships as well, especially with this thing coming up, I'm also open to that. So it'll be a great thing it'll be a great initiative as well. But it takes, this is some things that you got to think outside of the box, because it's sometimes people need help but aren't willing to ask. So you got to be innovative a bit. But I thought it's the best way to extract the knowledge out of the elderlies who actually do farming, and then have them on this platform that'll be freely available for everyone. Because as you guys know, farming is an important aspect of the Samoan life. It has been for a very long time. So it'll be great to keep it going for the many generations to come. But yeah, guys, I think we are probably up past half an hour now. I'm into recording. I'm feeling quite tired now, so I think I might wrap it up now. Just want to say thank you. Just want to say thank you again to everyone for supporting the channel. I really do appreciate it. If you've enjoyed today's podcast, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, guys. Share our channel. Also, guys, remember we do have our AINGA membership. So if you want to be a part of that, you can sign up for only $5.99 a month. And you can have access to things such as behind the scenes videos that I post up, that I'm trying to post up now, make it more regularly every month now. So be sure to check that out if you're interested. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna crash now, get some sleep. We've got work in the morning, so we'll definitely catch you guys on our next episode, our usual episode, which will be Saturday for farming and Sunday for the Sunday cooking tonight. But you guys take care. God bless. Take care, everyone, and we'll definitely catch you on our next episode. But until then, God bless. Take care, guys, and we'll see you soon.